and they're starting to move out of those cooler shady spots now. Beautiful just to sit and be. I'm just going to put our nose just in here, just the nose of our vehicle. And the reason I say that, sorry Andrew, I should have told you I was starting up there, sorry mate, I just wanted to get a little bit of a better position for you. And I'm sure she's fine, she looks absolutely unperturbed by us. And a little youngster is just there as well. Got a lovely branch right in the way, but hopefully I'll be able to just get around that. It's alright, my girl. How's that for you, mate? Yeah, is that okay? Okay, we'll just button off here. She's completely fine. She's completely relaxed. I've just got to watch my back here. We've got a great question, and I'm sorry, I'm just looking around here as I speak, but James has just asked a question in Kansas. Hi James, and welcome aboard to you, sir. It's great to have you on board, and you've asked a lovely question I touched on this morning, but it's a really nice parallel that you found, that you see some sort of a lot of similarities between elephants' behaviour and sort of social structure as us humans, and that's very true, James. There's many a parallel that I draw, and I really just love how they care for their young like we do. They stay in family groups like we do. They really do bond together and have lifelong relationships with family members and kinship members as well in distant herds. You see some incredible things sometimes, James, and everyone. You'll see herds. I've been sitting in a herd in Kenya where I've seen had to be over 150 animals joined together, but they're all small herds, small family units coming together. Those family units had come together, and the greetings that went on, and the excitement, and the vocalizations. Now, there's that big word that we use when we talk about wildlife, when we compare ourselves to them, anthropomorphism. So maybe I am being a bit anthropomorphic and comparing, giving animals human-like qualities, but I think we've got all got a little bit of that in us, and there is definitely a mystery about these animals that we do compare to our lives and our social structure, and why we're so fascinated with them, I believe, James. So it's a great question, mate, and yeah, thank you so much. Really nice one. So she's right behind this tree at the moment. It's not a very good shot for us, so I'm going to just... the young one's coming out. Oh, okay, little guy, okay, good one. Andrew's got a little angle that I can't see because he's a bit more elevated, but the youngsters seems to be pushing his nose forward here, so he might come into view. And it's nice just to be behind a bit of vegetation as well. It doesn't always have to be that clear view. It's just nice to sit here. So just pulling up to a herd of elephants is always something you do with a gentle approach, great respect, with all animals of course, great respect. Just watch the behaviour, watch particularly the matriarch's behaviour, and if there's any behaviour that she's showing any displeasure whatsoever, you would back away, and we would just move to another location. We have no problem with that whatsoever. These guys dictate the rules. We're on their turf, and we're very privileged to be allowed to be so close to them. She's moved into nice light there now. Oh, here comes the little one. So this little guy here is probably about a year, 2.5, or maybe 2 years old. Yeah, about 2 years old, I think. Just coming out the other side. Grace, welcome aboard to you from Texas, a wonderful place in the world, and I've been there many a time. Grace, your question is a great question as well. How far would an elephant roam from its herd? Well, they always stay in contact, either through communication, vocal communication. They can normally see each other. Their eyesight's not fantastic, but they can normally hear each other, sense each other, use a communication that is inaudible to us, but at a frequency that they can communicate at. And they all sort of get the understanding. They bond together, they work together. So it wouldn't be too far, but they might spread off out if they felt safe. And as soon as the matriarch, if we sort of stick with them, we can just watch this herd build around us. But you know, I think while we wait for that, I reckon we should cross to see what Pete is up to, and Pete's always got a surprise up his sleeve, so I'll come back to you just now, but we'll stick with these Ellies and see what happens. I'll see you just now.
Oh, this is pulled out. Yuri, you copy? Guys, my apologies, my microphone pulled out of its socket, so I didn't hear you. Big welcome back on the vehicle. We came back to Trias Dam, and look at what we found. Well, to be honest, it wasn't us that found it. Johan from Jacana Camp found it. And just from the behavior and from the eyes, I'm thinking that this is Kunyuma, one of my favorite leopards. I'm very happy to see him. I just want to give Yuri and them a call quickly, so they can have a look as well. Yuri, you copy? Juma Game Drive, Yuri, you copy? Oh, what a stunning cat. All mobiles, 1 Ingwe, Trias Dam, Lalapanzi. Yeah, AFM, 1 Ingwe, Trias Dam. Right, now guys, sorry, that was just to let the guys know, this is of course one of the ultimate prizes in the game drive, to see this animal, a leopard, apart from the fact that it's so beautiful that it's almost what's the word, mythical in some places, because you never see them. Here in Sabi Sands, this is one of the big attractions. This is why people travel here, to experience this, to see this. And this is the same leopard we saw this morning, Kunyuma. His name means to be a little bit shy or weary, and as you could see, he gave us a few little snarls there, just sort of asking us what's our story, but he's not bothered. He grew up with Karula. His mother is extremely habituated, extremely relaxed, and he just has a slightly different personality. He's a little bit more elusive, but I've also found in the past that if you spend time with him, if you give him time to get relaxed with you, he's absolute magic to watch. And I must say, just within the 5 months since I've seen him, he's certainly grown. He's in great shape. That belly is full of nyala. He caught a nyala last night close to the dam here. Aubrey and them saw the tracks and they found the hair, but from the tracks they could also tell that the hyenas, which live in the den not very far from here, stole that nyala from him. So even though we didn't see it, the newspaper, you know, the things we can read has told us that that this guy, what he did the last 12 or 24 hours, caught a nyala, ate it, lost it to the hyenas, and now we are fortunate enough to be looking at him. Oh, what a pleasure. And they're just so beautiful when they move. Just the very movement of them, putting one foot in front of the other, is beautiful to watch. They're so fluid. He's going to disappear behind the front edge of the other vehicle. As I said, this is one of the private camps. What an amazing thing to see every time. I don't get tired of it, not ever. I don't think I ever will. He's going to come out on the backside there. Oh, amazing light as well. Oh, look at that. Amazing light as well. We've got this late afternoon light, beautiful, soft. You can see the glint in his eye. Oh, guys, this is what deep breaths are meant for. Very specific eye shapes. His father is a leopard called Mvula. Mvula means rain in Shangaan. Beautiful leopard as well. And the first time I saw Kunyuma, I'd read at that stage that that was his father. But just when I saw him, I could see it. I could see it in his eyes. What a treat. What afternoon, really. Guys, and this is also the most beautiful time of day to see it. These guys in the other vehicle next to us, they're also keen photographers. You can just hear the shutters rolling. Light is beautiful, one of the most amazing animals to photograph. There's smiles all around. Yuri, you copy? What a surprise. But let's go around. He's going to move along. We're going to get to the other side there, I think. Johan? Wil julle voorgaan? Nee, ek sê julle kan voorgaan. Ons kom agterna. Ja. As julle vashak, sal ek net 'n bietjie druk met die Land Rover, hoor. Sorry guys, I actually just get a little joke in there. These are guys that come here very often. And you know, that's another thing to appreciate. People that get to be so fortunate to do this quite often throughout the year because they've got a permanent place here. And you sit at a place like this and they've all got these beautiful big smiles on their faces, happy to see something like this. It's a treat every time. I think you can do this a million times in your life and you'll still be mesmerized by these amazing animals. Hey Brian?
Fantastic.
As a cameraman, I mean, wasn't that one of your ultimate dreams, to sit in the middle of Africa filming a leopard like that? And every time it happens, it must still be a little bit of like, pinch myself, you know, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
I still feel like that all the time, so, yeah. And you know, it's also amazing, and this is important for every single one of you. Maybe this is the 1000th time you've come on a game drive with us. Maybe this is your first few minutes. Maybe you were lucky to have finally found this amazing experience in Africa, and as you joined us, there was a leopard. It's not always that easy. But you know what's really amazing about all of this? It's neither Brian nor myself nor any of us, guys back in control, none of us would be able to do this. You wouldn't be able to see this if it wasn't for all of us being part of it. That is one of the things that I find amazing about this. The fact that you guys are joining us from Virginia and from Fiji and from Durban and from Ohio and all the places that we've mentioned this afternoon, all the places we haven't mentioned. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be seeing this. So thank you very much for bringing us here. And bringing us here to look at something like that. It's going to come through again. Blending into the background, or in the foreground in this case. That dappled coat is amazing for camouflage. Guys, well, if you've missed this, I'm glad you're back with us. We've had an incredible sighting of this leopard. Drinking water. It looked for a second like it was going to climb that tree, which would be quite cool. That's quite a tall marula tree. Still looking up at it. I wonder why. There's nothing around that's threatening him. There was a hyena in the vicinity earlier, but I don't think it was really concerning him. He was lying not far away in the grass. What a pleasant surprise. This is the leopard we've been looking for. This afternoon I've been going on about checking Twin Dams. My gut feeling was that he was going to drink at Twin Dams. Obviously Trias Dam. Trias Dam, not that far away. After the buffalo, after the elephant, after what's been a very fun afternoon, we came to Trias Dam to have a look, and voila, what do you know? There was a leopard. The vehicle you can see there, that's from one of the private lodges. They spotted him, so great thanks to them. And that's what it's all about. The surprise of the next drive, the next corner, the next bend, and what you might see around it. Tell the guys on the other vehicle as well, in case they don't know. So just to know what I'm doing. Guys, just for interest sake, he caught a nyala here last night.
Okay.
Big mature nyala. You'll see there by Philemon's dip, the horns are lying there in the bush. And then from the tracks, the hyenas came from the den and they stole the kill from him.
Ah.
So he's got a full belly, but the food was stolen. Yeah. It's always nice to share news as well. You know, the more in depth you understand a character, an animal, a specific individual, in this case, this beautiful young leopard male, the more interesting it becomes, because you get to know his story, you get to share sort of the news of his last 24 hours. Ooh, look. I'm going to go around a little bit. Good afternoon, Andre in Florida, or Andre, depending how you say it. Andre is just asking, good question, Andre. Always, you know, questions based on observation is fantastic, because it shows that you're interpreting what you're seeing. You know, you're reading the newspaper of the bush and you're reading the behavior of the animal. Andrew's asking, the fact that he was drinking, was that a show of being comfortable with us? Andrew, this is quite a funny leopard, to be honest. And one of the reasons I like him, and I don't mean funny like Chris Rock. I mean funny like peculiar. You know, he's a bit more like a Johnny Depp or a Al Pacino, perhaps. There's a great character to this leopard that I find fascinating. He was giving us a little bit of a snarl earlier, even though he was comfortable. We could see he was comfortable. His tail wasn't swishing around. He wasn't bothered by us. He was more just like sort of lying there and going like, hey, you know, see if we're awake kind of thing. Got up and go to drink. Now all of that was showing that he was comfortable. The bit of a snarl, maybe not, but he wasn't uncomfortable. His tail wasn't showing anything. He wasn't showing any discomfort. Also, the way that this leopard grew up, oh, he might jump on that branch. That's going to be very pretty if it does. I love seeing leopard up on anything, displaying themselves a bit. The fact that he jumped up on the branch, if that happens, it'll be quite cool. But the fact that he went to drink certainly shows he was comfortable. And also, Andre, this leopard, again, he's been known since he was a little cub. His mother, Karula, is a very well-known leopard around here. So he's very used to vehicles, but he's a strange cat sometimes. With that last afternoon light just catching his face. Beautiful displayed against the background of that dark marula tree. a special treat for us. Amazing eyes as well. Leopard's eyes are just, you can get lost in them. Oh, he's going to walk right past the front of us here. My favorite leopard in Sabi Sands, other than his mother Karula and their grandmother Safari, who's now passed away. Look at him right in front of us. There's the vehicle, that's the edge, that's my hand. You can hear the twigs and the leaves under his paws. Oh. I'm not easily left speechless, but these leopards sometimes get me very close to it. It's just such a privilege to sit here and experience this. To sit here in the capacity that we are, sharing this with people from all around the world right at this moment. That, like leopards, still takes my breath away. It's so cool to be part of this process, part of this experience and part of this adventure, and to have at the core of that story, as the premise of that story, amazing wildlife with this leopard, those elephants we saw earlier. Wow, thank you. Excuse me? Yes, that's right. No problem. Johan's is asking for some help there. His radio's got a problem. No worries, I'll give you a shout, huh? He's just asking if anyone else is coming, that I just tell him, please, he doesn't have a radio. And I just asked him, if leopards ever sleep deep enough to be surprised and potentially killed by a hyena? Angela, I guess it's not impossible, but not likely. They're incredibly alert when they sleep, incredibly aware of their surroundings. Oh, look at that. Lovely place. Nice marula tree in the back. So it can happen, Angela, but highly unlikely. They're very alert. Often they sleep up in trees or places where a hyena can't get to them. But it does happen. Hyenas do sometimes kill leopard. Normally when there's a sort of confrontation around food, you know, when the leopard's made a kill and in the process the hyena surprise him, you know, when there's lots of sort of chaos going on. So I just want to talk to the game drivers again. I don't know if they've copied earlier, and this really is something that you want to share with people in the area as they do with us. So give me a second, please. All stations, just to confirm, did you copy earlier? There's one Ingwe, Treehouse Dam, now heading south. Aubrey again. Okay, for now, I just want to make sure that you guys heard me. It's Kunyuma and he's now heading straight south, maybe 200 meters, just Lalapanzi again. Two more was unlocked, so anyone can just shout. Doing a bit of grooming. Now, all cats do this, all animals do this in the wild. They keep themselves clean. Leopards perhaps one of the best at that. They do keep themselves very neat, very clean. Even if they've walked only a little bit through the grass, they stop, they groom themselves using the tongue, the paws. So to give you an idea, Stefan, I was talking to him just before he went on a few days leave. He was saying, Pieter, if you go walking, make sure you take precautions for ticks and that you check yourself, because there's a lot of ticks at the moment. So you can imagine an animal like that, nice furry coat, you have to keep yourself clean all the time. Goeiemiddag Gert. Good afternoon Gert from the Netherlands. Gert is just asking, why do we use Shangaan and Zulu names when we speak about the animals on the radio? I was going to say because it sounds cool. And to be honest, it does sound quite cool, I think. I love the Shangaan language. It's a beautiful language. Half of my son's name is in Shangaan. So it's not the reason. The reason is that you've got other people sitting on the game drives the same as you are. And a lot of the vehicles, a lot of the places don't use what we call secret comms. You know, this little earpiece I've got in means that I can hear the control room, but I can also hear the game drives talking to me without you hearing all the noise. Now, people don't always use that. Some lodges, if they've got 5 or 6 guests in the vehicle, they have the radio just on normal. And if people were then talking about, you know, we've got lions here, or leopards there, or buffalo there, their guests would be hearing that, and it might be someone that's not even in the same area. Maybe it's a guy further south by too far to get to that says we've got lions here, and it's just simply you can't go there. Or they might say, well, we saw the leopards yesterday, today we're looking for them again and we can't find them. Now, if someone overhears that, they might think they're losing out. So it's just to prevent people from over-expecting or becoming too excited about something that they might not be able to see. So it's a little bit of code language if you want. But it does sound very nice as well. I love the Shangaan language. I became fairly proficient at it over time. I'll give you a couple of those names quickly. Shangaan name for this, Ingwe. Ingwe, funny enough, is in. There's a few words that are pretty much in all the African languages that you find, not in all of them, but all the Southern African languages, even though they might differ quite a lot. In other words, they might differ as much as French would differ from German, or English would differ from Spanish. But Ingwe, leopard, Ingwe, nyoka, snake, and nyama, meat. Those 3 words translate in pretty much all the African languages the same, which I always find quite interesting. Other names, Ngala, which is the Shangaan name for lion. Often around here people refer to Ngonyam or Ngonis, which is a more sort of a Fanagalo slang name, but Ngala is the Shangaan for lion. Ndlov, Ndlovu, Ndlov, elephant. Nyare or Nyati would be buffalo that we saw earlier. And a beautiful word that's not a bad one to know before you come visit in the Low-Veld is Nkomo. Nkomo. N-K-O-M-U. Nkomo, which means thank you. It's always nice to know the word for thank you in any language, in any country that you go visit. I always try and learn at least the word for thank you. Gets a smile every time. Well, for the last few minutes, not too much has changed. This guy is nice and relaxed. He does have a full belly. Maybe you've joined us just recently. Just a quick story. He did kill a Nyala bull last night. Quite a big Nyala. In fact, it would have been something to see. It wouldn't have weighed much less or more than he does. So he's got a full belly, but he didn't get to eat most of it because the hyenas stole it from him. But nonetheless, he's got a full belly of food. So there's no urgency for him to hunt. But leopards are eternal optimists, eternal opportunists. So this guy, if opportunity comes along, will take it. I'm sort of sitting here hoping, I mean, obviously to see what he does because it's fascinating, but I would love it if he jumped up on that tree in the back. I think everyone's thinking the same in the back of their minds. You look at a tree like that and you go, that's a cool tree for a leopard to, you know, just go stand a little bit, get a few pictures, you know. And they might. Leopards are sort of like that. They like little viewpoints, and when they're moving, to jump up on something, look around a bit, jump down again. So we'll see what he gets up to. That would have been pushed over by elephants. We sort of touched on different vegetations earlier. Genevieve in New York was asking about sort of the mineral composition of plants throughout the year, changing with the seasons, and you do find certain times of the year elephants eat more roots, so they push over trees like that to get to the roots. Other times of year they eat more leaves, other times they eat more grass. Leopards, however, they eat the same stuff throughout the year. Interestingly enough, it might be more varied than people tend to think. People always just think that they hunt certain things. For some reason people often think they hunt baboons. They don't really hunt baboons a lot. They do, but they're a bit wary of baboons. Big male baboons have got larger canine teeth than lions or leopards, and they're very strong, and they've effectively got 4 hands, so very, very tricky to get hold of them and very dangerous. In Sabi Sands, in this specific area that we're in, this leopard that we're looking at in Kunyuma, his mother Karula, his brother Q, the dominant males in the area, Mvula, Tingana, the typical prey species for them would be, to a large extent, impala, because they're numerous, because they're good size for them. They would also hunt other medium-sized antelopes, bushbuck, nyala, like what this guy hunted last night, young zebra, young kudu, especially for the big male leopards, warthog, steenbok, duiker, the smaller antelope species. But then there would also be little opportunities along the way. I've seen them eat big moths in summertime when there's lots of insects. They will eat termites when there's sort of a place where there's lots of termites. For those of you that joined us in November, I remember this amazing drive we had with our hyena catching termites while they were flying around. Leopards might do something similar. Little birds, big birds, guinea fowl, francolins that we saw earlier. Little reptiles, a skink or something, a mouse. I've seen them catch squirrels. Can adapt to sort of their conditions and their sort of options for food or their prey species. Great at adapting to it. Well, we're going to stick with this leopard. This is the time of day when things start to happen. But at the same time, leopards have got one thing in abundance, and that is patience. Any hunter, any successful hunter, as an individual, and even more so as a species, absolutely need patience. And I think no one knows that better than leopards. So I think this guy looks pretty relaxed for the moment. We're going to stay with him. We might position a little bit better, see what he does. But until he does so, enjoy the drive with Hayden a little bit, see what he bumps into. I know he's very happy. That's the beautiful thing about Hayden. He gets just as excited about what we see this side as what you see that side. So yesterday you had Q, his brother, with Hayden. Today we've got the brother this side. Enjoy it that side. As soon as this guy moves, anything happens, we're going to get you back here again.
So we just were driving along a little bit. We left those elephants back in the vegetation. They were moving off into some really thick country. We just thought we'd let them be. And we've come down and we've come across this old one-horned buffalo lying in this wallow. And I remember this buffalo. He's been around here for quite a long time. I mean, I could be mistaken. There might be several buffalo around with only one horn, but I do remember him. He was kind of quite a distinct break in his horn, but his boss, that sort of bulbous part in the middle there, wasn't as big as others, and it's been really worn down, as you can see. So I think it's the same animal I saw 6 months ago. He's pretty cool old boy, and he's just here on his lonesome, lying in this wallow, coating himself in that mud to help him protect himself from biting flies and parasites. If you go in close, Andrew, and have a little bit of a look at he's a bit of a beaten up old boy. He's got tear marks in his ears and a big scar across his nose and a broken horn, and he's probably in the day of getting to the great savannah in the sky, but it'll be a while off yet. I mean, he could last a lot longer. It's just that, once they get to a certain age, and they'll be displaced from the bigger herds, and they end up choosing to join a bachelor herd, as we said this morning, or sometimes live a solitary life. But he seems quite content at the moment. He's got good condition on him. You can see he's quite nice and fat, and Buffalo have got an amazing ability to digest some of the coarsest of grass, so he's quite at home in this vegetation at the moment, whereas a lot of the wildebeest and the zebras have moved off to get the sweeter grass. But he's happy days. He's quite an old beast, isn't he? Look at that scar right across his nose there. He's quite content. We're only about probably 5 to 7 metres away from him, just to give you a little indicator of the distance. And yeah, he's very content. Very content. Beautiful glossy starling just turned up there. He's still a formidable guy. You wouldn't be taking him on. Got a question from Jimelin asking, do buffaloes draw more flies or attract more flies than other animals? Well, I have to say, Jimelin, in my experience, and I think I'd be talking on behalf of most people I know that work in wildlife, if there's buffaloes around, there's a lot more flies around, that's for sure. They're in the bovine family, the cattle family, and they just happen to attract masses of flies. And when you've got a big breeding herd, well, when I say breeding herd, lots and lots of different small clans that join together into a herd that moves together, sometimes 300 and 400 animals I've seen here on Juma and Arethusa. The flies can be horrendous. So the answer to that is yes, they really do attract more flies than many of the other species I know. You can see what he's doing there again. We talked about it yesterday, but it's good just to touch on it ever so quickly again. He's ruminating, and he's got that ability to regurgitate his food and chew it over and over again. He's a big boy. We might let you be, sir, and let you ruminate away. We might go and ruminate ourselves somewhere else. Thank you for your time.